Cruise lines look simple on paper. You book, you pack, you board, and everything's included. That's easy, right? But here's what seasoned cruisers know. The difference between an okay trip and an unforgettable one usually comes down to the weird little hacks most first-timers don't even think of. Now, I'm not talking about the obvious advice like bring sunscreen or arrive a day early. I'm talking about the small, quirky, little silly-sounding tricks that actually work wonders once you're on board. So today I'm giving you 15 weird cruise tips that sound strange but really do make your life easier at sea. And by the end, you'll have a toolkit of insider strategies most passengers never hear about. And trust me, you'll thank me later. So number 1, bring magnetic hooks for your cabin. Let's start with one that sounds almost laughably weird. Magnetic hooks. Here's why it matters. Cruise cabins are tiny, like smaller than some closets tiny. And storage space, even smaller. A couple of hats, jackets, swim cover-ups, and lanyards, and suddenly your entire cabin looks like a laundry explosion. The weird fix? Magnetic hooks. Most cruise ship walls are metal, which means you can stick these hooks anywhere, above the desk or above the bed or on the bathroom wall, and suddenly you've got vertical storage for everything. I've seen families use magnetic hooks to hang day packs and reusable shopping bags, and even drying swimsuits when the bathroom line gets too crowded. It sounds ridiculous when you're packing a handful of dollar store hooks, but once you're in a tiny cabin for a week, this hack feels like sorcery. And here's the extra benefit. Clutter affects mood, and when your space feels organized, you feel calmer. On a cruise where the cabin is both your bedroom and living room, that little sense of order goes a long way. Number 2, pack a nightlight, even if you're an adult. Here's another one that seems silly until you experience it. A nightlight. Inside cabins are pitch black when the lights go out. I'm not talking it's pretty dark. I mean can't see your own hand dark. You wake up at 3 a.m., need the bathroom, and suddenly you're fumbling like a contestant in an escape room. Sure, you can leave the bathroom light on, but then you've got a glowing door all night. Or you could use your phone flashlight, but who wants to blind themselves at 3 a.m.? The weird fix is to bring a cheap plug-in nightlight, or even one of those battery-powered tap lights. Place it near the floor or in the bathroom, and you've got just enough light to move safely without waking anyone up. Veteran cruisers swear by this because it makes the cabin feel more comfortable. And if you've ever traveled with kids, or even just someone who tosses and turns, you'll realize how game-changing it is not to stub your toe at 2 a.m. Number 3, use a shoe organizer, but not for shoes. This is one of the weirdest looking tips, but it's an absolute legend in cruise circles. Bring an over-the-door shoe organizer. And no, it's not for shoes. It's for everything else. Cabin counters fill up fast. Sunscreen, sunglasses, water bottles, phone chargers, hairbrushes, seasickness meds, you name it. Instead of letting all of that clutter pile up, you slip everything into a clear pocket. Suddenly, you can see and grab what you need in seconds. It feels strange at first, like you're setting up a mini storefront in your cabin. But after day 2, you'll wonder how you ever cruised without it. Parents especially love it, because kid stuff stays visible and organized instead of buried under clothes. Here's the best part though. When it's time to pack, you just fold the organizer, pocket still filled, and drop it straight into your suitcase. Zero hunting for lost cords or toiletries. Weird? Yes. Effective? Incredibly. Number 4, pack clothespins or clips. Now here's a small, odd item that solves multiple cabin headaches. Clothespins. First, the shower curtain. Whoever designed cruise bathrooms must have a sense of humor, because the curtain loves to cling to you like static. It's not just annoying, it's unhygienic. A simple clothespin clipped to the bottom keeps the curtain weighted and out of your way. Second, the blackout curtains. Cruise cabins often have them, but they don't always meet perfectly in the middle. Morning sun slips through that tiny gap like a laser beam. A clothesline or binder clip seals it shut, giving you the pitch black sleep you thought you paid for. Third, drying clothes. If you got a balcony, a clothespin keeps your swimsuit from blowing into the ocean. I once saw a passenger lose a brand new bathing suit this way, and trust me, the souvenir shop replacement wasn't cheap. Tiny, weird, but powerful. Clothespins turn annoying little problems into non-issues. Number 5, bring a power strip, but check the rules. Here's the one that always raises eyebrows. Pack a power strip. Cabins usually have a grand total of 2 outlets. That's it. Now picture a family of 4 trying to charge phones and tablets and watches and cameras, maybe even a hair straightener. It's chaos. The weird solution is to bring a cruise-safe power strip. But here's the catch. It can't be a surge protector. Those are banned as fire hazards. What you want is a simple extension strip with multiple outlets or USB ports. It looks a little silly, setting up your own charging station in a tiny cabin, but it prevents so many arguments. Everyone's devices stay powered. Nobody fights over the next slot, and you avoid the stress of a dead phone just when you need it to check your excursion time. In 2025, with people traveling with smartwatches and e-readers and headphones and more, this hack isn't just weird, it's essential. And number 6, switch your phone to airplane mode for the entire cruise. Here's a tip that feels over the top at first, but it's absolutely crucial. Switch your phone to airplane mode the moment you step on the ship, and leave it there until you get back to port. Why? Because the ocean is basically a financial minefield for cell service. Once at sea, your phone automatically hunts for signals, and often it latches onto maritime networks. Sounds harmless, right? Except those networks charge insane roaming rates. Sometimes $2 to $5 per megabyte of data. To put it in perspective, opening Instagram would cost you about $20. Watching a short video, that's a $100 mistake. The weird part is most passengers don't even realize they're racking up charges. They're not making calls or sending texts, but their apps are refreshing in the background. Email, weather, maps, social media, all invisible, but all expensive. Putting your phone in airplane mode shuts all that down. No sneaky background charges, no terrifying bill waiting at home. You can still connect to ship Wi-Fi when you want, but you're in control. And here's another benefit most people don't expect. It changes how you experience the cruise. Instead of being glued to your phone, you actually disconnect. You're more present at dinner. You notice the ocean sunsets. You laugh more at the shows because you're not scrolling during intermission. It feels weird at first, almost uncomfortable. Like, what if I miss something? But then the realization hits. That's the point. You're not missing anything important. You're finally letting go. So yes, airplane mode is weird advice, but it's the one trick that protects both your wallet and your sanity. Number 7, highlight your daily planner every night. If you've never cruised before, here's something you'll quickly learn. Ships are buzzing with activity. Each evening, your steward drops off a daily program in your cabin listing everything happening the next day. Shows, trivia contests, wine tastings, craft classes, dance lessons, karaoke, theme parties, fitness sessions. It's like a mini phone book of fun. But here's the problem. It's overwhelming. If you just skim it, you'll miss gems. You'll hear someone at lunch say, "That was the funniest game show last night," and you'll think, "Wait, what was happening? How did I not know?" The weird but genius fix is pack a highlighter. Before bed, spend 5 minutes with the planner. Highlight anything that genuinely excites you. Maybe the evening comedy show. Maybe the mixology class at 2 p.m. Maybe morning yoga on the deck. And suddenly, your next day has shape. You're not wandering aimlessly or missing out. You're cruising with intention. This doesn't mean you have to be rigid or plan every second. It just means the things that matter most to you don't slip through the cracks. Think of it as curating your own personal cruise playlist. I've seen this change the vibe of entire trips. Instead of the dreaded cruise FOMO, you end each day knowing you hit the highlights that matter to you. And at the end of the week, you realized you squeezed way more value out of the trip than the passengers who winged it. Weird tip? Yes. But one bright yellow marker turns chaos into clarity. And number 8, bring your own insulated mug or tumbler. Let's talk about the buffet cups. If you've ever been on a cruise, you know what I mean. They're hilariously tiny, maybe 8 ounces at best. You pour yourself some iced tea, sit down, and by the time you've taken 3 sips, it's gone. Back in line you go. Now multiply that if you're a coffee drinker. Morning lines juggling 2 tiny cups because one doesn't cut it, balancing them on your plate of scrambled eggs. Now that's comedy, but not the good kind. The weird fix? Bring your own travel mug or tumbler. Something insulated, ideally with a lid. Fill it once at breakfast, and you're set for hours. Your coffee stays hot, or your soda stays cold, and you're not making 3 trips back and forth like everyone else. It also solves a sneaky problem: dehydration. Cruise ships are basically floating hotels in the sun. You're walking and swimming, maybe drinking alcohol, and having a big mug of water or iced tea on hand helps keep you hydrated without constantly hunting for refills. And here's a side bonus: it's eco-friendly, so every refill saves another disposable cup from going to waste. Some passengers even decorate their mugs as a fun little personal accessory. Sure, packing a tumbler might feel like overkill when space in your suitcase is tight, but the first morning you bypass that refill line, you'll understand why veteran cruisers call this one of the weirdest but smartest hacks out there. Number 9. Toss a few dryer sheets in your bag. Now for a tip that sounds like your grandmother's idea but actually works wonders: dryer sheets. Here's why. Cruise cabins are small and they can sometimes feel stuffy. Between damp swimsuits, salty air, and recycled ventilation, things get musty fast. Slip a few dryer sheets in your suitcase and suddenly everything smells fresh and clean, even by day 7. But that's just the start. Dryer sheets are shockingly versatile. Shoes smell funky after a sweaty excursion? Tuck one inside overnight. Clothes clinging with static from the cabin's AC? Quick rub with a dryer sheet fixes that instantly. Suitcase smells like sunscreen and sea air on the way home? Dryer sheet to the rescue. They weigh nothing, cost pennies, and solve problems you won't even realize you'll have. It's weird because nobody thinks, well, I'm going on vacation, I'd better pack my laundry supplies. But once you see how much they help, you'll never cruise without them again. Number 10. Treat your cabin TV as a secret window. Here's one of the most underappreciated hacks on any ship. Your cabin TV isn't just for movies, it's a hidden navigation tool. Most ships run a set of ship channels, a live GPS map showing your exact location and speed and heading, the day's weather forecast for the next ports, and the best one, a live bridge cam streaming the view straight from the front of the ship. Now, if you've booked a balcony, you might not care, but if you're in an inside cabin, this is gold. You can flip on the TV in the morning and instantly see if the ship has docked, or if it's raining, or if the sunrise is worth hustling to the deck for. It gives you a sense of space, which is crucial when you're otherwise living in a windowless cave. It's also great for planning. Wondering how soon you'll be arriving? Map channel. Curious what the seas look like before you grab breakfast? Bridge cam. Want to know if you need a jacket tonight? The Weather Channel. It feels weird treating your TV like a window, but it transforms how connected you feel to the journey. Suddenly you're not just a passenger. You're tuned in to the rhythm of the ship itself. Number 11. Pack a few Ziploc bags. This one sounds almost laughably simple. Ziploc bags. The kind you use for sandwiches at home. Here's why they're a secret weapon on a cruise. Versatility. Beach days. Toss your phone, room card, and a little cash inside to keep them safe from sand and splashes. Excursions. Pack snacks from the buffet, cookies, fruit, even a bagel or two for later. Wet clothes. After a swim, shove your damp swimsuit into a gallon bag so it doesn't soak everything else in your tote. Electronics. Cameras, earbuds, chargers. Ziplocs keep them dry and organized. Or cabin clutter. Store loose items like sunscreen bottles or cords to avoid messy countertops. They weigh nothing, take up no space, and solve half a dozen problems you'll inevitably run into. The weirdest part? Every veteran cruiser I know swears by them. It'd feel silly packing snack bags for a vacation, but you'll find yourself reaching for one constantly. Number 12. Bring a mini first aid kit. Here's a weird reality. Even though cruise ships have medical centers, you don't want to rely on them for everyday fixes. Why? Because a packet of headache pills or seasickness tablets can cost 3 times the price on board. And you don't want to be trekking down to the infirmary for something as small as a blister. That's why experienced cruisers pack a tiny DIY first aid kit. Nothing huge. Just a zip pouch with motion sickness meds, pain relievers, band-aids, aloe for sunburn, and maybe some cold tablets. It feels weird. Because you're going on vacation, you're not prepping for an expedition. But that little kit makes you self-sufficient. You can fix small problems immediately without lines, without fees, and without cutting into your fun. And here's the kicker. Seasickness sneaks up on even seasoned travelers. The first time you hit a rocky night at sea, you'll thank yourself for packing motion meds instead of racing to buy overpriced ones at the gift shop. Number 13. Find the secret breakfast spots. Most people start their day in the buffet, and on the first morning, it's fine. Everyone's excited. But by day 3, it's chaos. Long lines, no tables, people bumping trays. Not exactly the calm start you had in mind. The weird tip? Don't go where everyone else goes. On almost every ship, the main dining room serves a full sit-down breakfast. No crowds, no scramble. You order from a menu. Food comes hot to the table, and you sip your coffee in peace. The selection's usually just as good, if not better. And some ships also have hidden breakfast gems, like a small cafe with pastries, or a poolside grill that quietly serves omelets in the morning. If you explore a bit, you'll find the spots nobody mentions, and they instantly make mornings more enjoyable. It feels weird the first time, walking past the buffet chaos to sit in a quiet dining room, but once you try it, you'll never go back. Number 14. Use a lanyard for your cruise card. Here's the truth. Your cruise card is your lifeline. It's your room key, your onboard credit card, your ID for getting on and off the ship. Lose it, and you'll be in for a headache. Most passengers stuff it in a wallet or pocket, but that means constantly digging for it at bars, at shops, at your cabin door. Worse, it's easy to misplace. The weird fix? A lanyard or badge holder. Wear it around your neck, and suddenly you're not fumbling every 5 minutes. Swipe, go, done. Yeah, it feels a little dorky at first, but after a day, you'll realize most seasoned cruisers are wearing them too, and the convenience outweighs the fashion factor. You're not at a business conference, you're on vacation. Efficiency wins. Bonus, some cruise lines punch your card for you, or you can bring a holder with a slot. Either way, it's weird, simple, and surprisingly essential. Number 15. Take the stairs. Seriously. Okay, this one might sound too obvious to even count as a tip, but it's secretly one of the most effective weird hacks. Skip the elevators and take the stairs. Now here's why. Cruise ship elevators are notoriously slow. During peak times, like after shows or during embarkation, when returning from port, you could wait 10 minutes or more, and when one finally arrives, it's packed. You squeeze in, stop on every floor, and arrive annoyed. Now imagine instead, you take the stairs. No waiting, no crowding, just a quick walk up or down. In most cases, it's faster, and you sneak in some exercise to balance out that second dessert at dinner. Even if you only commit to stairs for 2 or 3 flights, the difference is huge. You'll save time, reduce frustration, and feel better physically. And by the end of the cruise, you've burned enough extra calories to justify a few more treats. Weird? Maybe. But after the first elevator bottleneck, you'll understand why seasoned cruisers swear by it. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the strangest cruise tip you've ever tried? Or the one quirky trick you always swear by? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to collect a few new hacks for my next trip. And before you go, check out the next video on screen for even more insider cruise strategies. Plus, don't forget to join our free school community through the link in the description. That's where I share bonus tips, answer your cruise questions directly, and connect you with other travelers planning smarter voyages. Your voyage is just beginning.